Truly an honor to have you here today with us. And your journey as a tech leader, entrepreneur, and mentor has inspired so many. And I'm really looking forward to learning from your insights today. Thank you for being here. So
Thank you so
we'll
much for having me, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So we'll start from the segment one, where I'll be asking about your beginnings and your first break. So let's start with question one, which is, can you take us back to your early days? What was your first step into the world of business and tech?
Sure. So I did my associate degree in computer science back in 1998, and my first break was in 1999, but not in software development, but training as a trainer. So I joined I actually started working with my dad. Actually, he had started a company to train boys and girls, underprivileged boys and girls in technology in 1998 under the name of ConsulNet Corporation. And then in 2004, I got my first break into freelancing when, out of the blue, I received an email from somebody in UK wanting to build a website, and I built it for him, and he paid us. And that's how I actually stumbled on and learned what freelancing was all about. And then I did freelancing for 2 years through these platforms. I think one of my favorite platforms at that time was Better Freelancer, which is called freelancer.com today. And in 2006, I had enough customers, and I had a small team that I registered the company and actually started taking this gig seriously. So that's the backstory.
That's great. And what inspired you to start your own company, and what gave you the confidence to do it?
Um, what inspired me would be I would twist the question to say what made me bored, what told me that I need to do something. So I was married, I had a daughter, and there wasn't a lot of scope to do something because I wanted to do medicine at that point, and with a small, very very young child, it was very very difficult to do medicine. So I did my diploma, like I said, in computer science, associate degree in computer science. And then, one thing led to another. This opportunity came, and I was like, if you really want to do something and not be a stay-at-home mom, then this is a good opportunity. You should just, avail this. So when I did that gig for Austin back in 2004, I actually started studying what freelancing was all about. And then, that gave me an opening, and I started spending a few hours a day on Get a Freelancer to get a feel of it, and did that. I was inspired. There was a lot of inspiration at that point, honestly. Back in 2004, for women, there was a lot of inspiration. But my inspiration, yes, maybe you can say, was my eldest brother. He was he was the first engineer in the family, and he was working in IBM Minnesota as an architect. And I really enjoyed talking to him, learning about what he was doing. He used to give me these small courses online, and he would tell me, just go do these. I think that's where the interest started, and I was like, yeah, this is simple. I can do this. This is just math, and that's where the interest started. There wasn't any scare of doing business or anything. I think the part of your question was about what inspired me, or maybe what pushed me towards doing this. So this was one thing. The other thing was that because I wasn't doing it for the money, I wasn't scared of taking risks.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Because this is a huge thing. It should make a lot of sense because I wasn't scared. I wasn't risk averse. I used to take a lot of risks. Yeah, you can let's do this, let's do that. Kya hoga? It will work out. That's okay. So I think that sort of like built this spine in 2 years that I was ready to actually go all out and say, okay, yeah, I can do this. And I think that's what happened.
Yeah. And we'll talk about your company now. Then, what product or service do you first focus on when launching your company? Like, is it a product based company or a service based company? So, what was that?
Genetech Solutions is a software services company. We build software solutions for small and medium businesses. mostly in the North American and European market. And we focus on small and medium companies primarily, but we've also worked with a lot of corporates, FMCGs, and government organizations as well. Um, but we don't per se have a very koi product SE, but we focus primarily on building products for other customers. So giving our services, development services to the consumer, then consumer.
Great.
So primarily a services company.
So basically, our aim, like for MDBot, the aim of MDBot for her is basically to talk about the women who are like married and they have kids and they're not able to come out from their shell and they're not able to do anything. So for them, I really want to know that if we start a company from scratch, so can you please break it down step by step, that what should we, like from where we should start, like what should they do first?
Yeah, I think a better thing than breaking it down for you would be what did I do
Yeah.
that worked out for me? Because I can give you a theoretical breakdown, but I'll just tell you what I did. Now you can pick up from there, you or the listeners, I mean, can pick up from there what actually they think will work for them, because everybody is standing in different shoes and there is no specific formula to do this, right? But there is obviously there is standardization to business. But as a woman, when we say, as a woman, how did you break out of that shell? How did you do this work-life balance? There is no formula, right? So I mean, standard business practices are the same. If you talk about any business, tech is just any business. So let's talk about that first, right? So registering a company in your country, getting into the text net, hiring people, building a marketing team, building a pipeline to bring work is very, very important, right? So as you build a pipeline to bring work, you start adding people to your team with the same expertise that align with the kind of work that's coming, right? And that's how you grow. And then obviously different departments around that. So that this is the main focus should be on the engineer for me. Would be on the engineering department, because that's what we do for a living, right? But then the other departments that actually support that department, including if you talk about tech, then design, DevOps, content, UI development, project management, testing, software quality assurance. All of these departments complement engineering, and that's how we can actually build a good product and deliver to our customers. But then there's a secondary layer that actually complements the whole department, which is HR, accounts, administrative, work. So basically admins and all, taxation, legals, all of that, logistics, all of that. So a lot of this you might do in-house. Some of this you might also outsource, depending on how much work you need, right? So I think that in a nutshell is what businesses are all about. And obviously you have to make sure that your revenue keeps flowing at the end of the day.
That is it.
Obviously, and so the number of people that you have hired, and revenue will keep flowing when you make sure that your marketing team and your sales team are aligned. At when the marketing team brings those leads, the sales team is actually able to convert a good percentage of those into actual sales for the engineering team to work on. So it's basically a whole cycle. But as a woman, what did I do? So like I said, first of all, I wasn't pressured. That was me. Others could be different. I wasn't pressured to actually go out and work.
Yeah.
But I did it at my own free will. So because I did it at my own free will, then sitting till 12 in the night or 4 till the morning wasn't. It didn't hurt that much, because I was doing it because I wanted to do it, not that somebody else was pressuring me to do it. There's a huge difference, right? So that, and then again, you have to understand that if as a woman I have stepped out of the house to do something, I understand that I have responsibility at home. My husband is very supportive. He will look after the kids, yes, but he also has a day job, right? So at the end of the day, in our culture, at least in Pakistan, and I'm sure the same is for India and Bangladesh and all, a lot of these responsibilities, house responsibilities or home responsibilities, fall on the women.
Yeah,
At least in
exactly.
Pakistan, it's like that, right? And so if you are going to step out of your home and of your comfort zone, don't just do it because it looks so shiny and privileged and a working woman. Do it because you think that you can do it, because it's not easy.
It's not
It's
easy.
pretty.
It's very
It gets
difficult.
difficult as you grow. It gets more and more difficult. So, do you have the spine to do this? Ask yourself, right? And if you do, then go ahead. Because I have seen so many girls and women, because I do this program called CodeGirls and we're trying
Yeah,
to bring girls into technology. What happens is 2, 3 years down the line, 4 years max, they're so we're done. We spend so much time on you. We spent a year training you, pushing you into the industry. And 3, 4 years down the line, you're like, oh, no, no, we just wanted to see how it feels like to work, but we're done now. Now we don't want to do this. We want to stay home and look after our kids. And okay, fine, that's a choice, but then don't come back and say we don't get opportunities, because you did. But opportunity also comes with ownership and the will to get something done. So the more people, as a woman, the more people pushed me back. Oh, you can't do this. I was like, acha, okay, then I'll do it. Why was that? Because I feel that when we are young and as you're growing up, if you're doing some sort of a sport, then this builds into you. Oh, I can take that boundary. I can do exactly what my brother is doing. I can take the get that basket. I used to learn to basketball, table tennis, or whatever. So you have this winning spree thing in you that I want to win. I want to win. I want to beat them. So I think women who are I have seen the women who are athletic tend to go the extra mile,
yeah,
because they have it in them to sort of like do this and get it done. Because maybe हम थोड़े से egoistic भी हो जाते हैं कि नहीं, हमें तो करके दिखाना है कि हम ये कर सकते हैं.
mm,
So as women, we have to take ownership. I know so many women in the industry who are 10, 12 years, 15 years, and they're doing it. And it's not like it's not hard. It is very hard, but they've proven people wrong. But there's a bulk of girls that who would do 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and say, "Oh, we're done." And first of all, initially they'll tell you that we're not able to break into the industry, we're not getting opportunities. Then you help them, you get them to, you know, uh, get them some opportunities to crack. Some of them will stay, some of them will won't. So this is a whole different discussion that we can
exactly.
have someday, where we're working towards women empowerment, but the women also have to change their mindset
Yeah,
to be empowered fully,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Now
Yeah,
we'll talk about funding, because at times when we establish a company, so funding becomes a very like it's become an issue. So how
yeah.
can we raise funds for our company, and what is the formula for getting the funds? Because a lot of women or a lot of people also, they break down, or like they just they cannot work if they don't have sufficient money, because they have to raise their family also, they have to get and from which sources they can raise funds.
I might be the wrong person for that, but I'll give you something. I have never raised funds. I have everything that I've done is from bootstrapping. Okay, so I have never sort of like raised any funds, and I don't believe in raising funds. I believe in putting in money, which is why my growth has been slow but steady. So it took me like uh, 10, 15 years to get to where I am today. Maybe somebody who may have funds would have gotten there in 5 years. That's fine. That's fine, but they could have also failed because it wasn't their money; it was somebody else's money, right? So with me using my own money, I was very, very careful. But I also had a very, very good night's sleep because I don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah,
So you see, the that's where the risk part comes in. I can take risks because it's my money. I can take risk that as well. So having said that, I understand what you're saying in terms of raising funds, because today the mindset is all about raising funds
yeah,
and at least getting some sort of angel investment to be able to do that. I believe that in Pakistan at least there is an ecosystem built. I don't know about other countries, but in Pakistan and Silicon Valley as well, there's a huge ecosystem built where you have VCs and you have angel investments, and then you have VC studios. But the way to do this, if you have some sort of traction, is to get incubated in an incubator and get your idea or your MVP verified first, to be able to say, I mean, when they verify it, they might say, they might reject it, they might accept it and help ask you to tweak it. So get your idea verified and tweaked and refined through the incubation process. Then get into an accelerator and start, building your network, and also start to raise small, fundings, do funding rounds and raise money. But I don't think that I have any formula to primarily do that, because I'm coming from the other side. So, if some VC studio reaches out to me, I might be happy to do some sort of an angel investment with them, but I haven't done this side myself.
Okay.
But this is but the only thing that I want to leave people with, and I have seen, not everybody. I'm sure there are so many good startups out there, so many good startup founders out there. But some of the very, very young startup founders who are just out of university, they think that they cannot create any traction without first raising fund.
Yeah.
And why would they put money out of their own pocket? Now, this statement itself is so scary. Why would I put fund out of my own pocket? It's a startup. It's supposed to raise funds. It's supposed to work on somebody else's money. Why would I put my money into it? This mindset I have seen in the young startup founders that are coming. I'd like to see startups that are 4 years into it with their own money and build some traction, and then I'd like to go in and say, okay, I support you. I'm gonna be one of the investors into your company, but not before that. I want to see how much skin in the game they have for themselves. So yeah, I think this mindset needs to change. And because Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, the startup ecosystem is so new for us that people are sort of like, it looks like, क्या कहते हैं उसको, a lot of Las Vegas lights. Oh, it's very shiny. You get money, but when that money ends, is when you actually realize that, how do I get up now? How do I, steadily make my business consistent and bring revenue and actually become profitable? Yeah. People don't even talk about profitability when they're doing startups. They have to keep talking about revenue. But if you ask startups, what is your profit? Very few startups have those answers, because they're just looking towards building a company to a point where the valuation is so and so because of the revenue to make an exit.
Okay, I think we are very short of time, and I want to ask a very important question, because you run CodeGirls Pakistan also. So I really want to ask about that also. That what was the idea behind CodeGirls, and how did it start, and what impact has it created so far?
So CodeGirls Pakistan was started in 2018 with just a phone call. And the idea behind CodeGirls was that till 2017, my company's own diversity ratio, women ratio, was 10% or below. And I was very, very fed up with the idea of not being able to hire women, even though I was a CXO in the company. I was one of the co-founders. But women tend to get scared of coming. So what we did is we partnered with a few individuals locally and internationally. So partnered with Pfizer here for Women in Tech, partnered with UGI, United Global Initiative in the US, and we created a project called CodeGirls, where we train girls 18 plus intermediate in technology and help place them into the ecosystem. So we started off with doing, as simple as web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. If they pass that, then there's an array of, technology stacks that they can choose from: PHP, Python, Java, .NET, Android development, software quality testing, content writing, There's UI UX design. There's a lot of things there that they can choose from, and we help them. And once they do one of those tracks, then they can go apply in the market for jobs. And we are partners with hundreds of companies across Pakistan and internationally to be able to have those jobs in the job board. The idea was to improve diversity in the tech ecosystem. My own company's diversity jumped from 10% to 36% in 2023. So it helped us and a lot of other companies and still helping them. That was the main idea behind it.
Great. That sounds great. And now I'll ask this. This is the last question. I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but seriously, I just want to ask that what message would you give to women listening right now and who is sitting on an idea but scared to start? Like obviously, everyone wants to start from somewhere, and we have already discussed this, but still, at last, please advise the women and the listener who are listening to this podcast that what should they do. Like they should not sit ideally at home, and when they want, so they should come out and they should work. So what message will you give in your
You already gave the message, right? You can come out. Again, the reason women do this is because they're scared that they will fail. एक scare होता है I'm going to lose money. I think women have a more bigger scare because they're women. So if they fail, they get a bigger pushback from the society. See, you're a woman, you can't do this. See, you failed. So I think that is a bigger scare that I feel is a bigger scare for women than the fact that they lose money. But I have always seen very, very successful founders fail, regardless of their gender, fail and learn from what they have failed at and apply that learning to the next startup. So I'm not saying you will fail your first startup. I'm just saying don't be scared of failing. Even if you are, if you do fail, learn, apply it to the next one, right? So that I feel is the biggest message that I can give, because I just want to tell them that I hear you, I know what you're thinking, because I've been there. There has been nobody to support me 20 years ago. Right now there's an ecosystem to support women. At least they say there is. But they didn't even say that 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But we came out pretty good. Okay?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just this has been such a powerful conversation with you, and I can't thank you enough for your time and your wisdom and your journey, and the impact you have made through Code Girls and Genetech Solutions are incredibly inspiring. And basically, this is from me, like, to everyone who's listening. I hope this episode leaves you as energized and motivates as it did to me, and listen to other women, inspiring women just like ma'am. And thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. And once again, it's an honor to be like hosting you. And can you please?
Dr. Sundas is doing an amazing job. If you're bringing and highlighting women from around the world on your platform, then other women and even men allies should go and listen and learn from it, because there's not so many resources like yours that are highlighting particularly on women empowerment. So hats off to you, and I hope that the listeners will go and subscribe. I'll do that myself first of all. So and so thank you so much, Sundas. Thank you so much for your time.